What to ask a WordPress developer before you start a web project. If you're considering using a WordPress developer to build your website, you're in good company. 30% of websites use WordPress. As a web design agency staffed with WordPress developers who work on several web projects every year, we're here to help guide you in finding the best WordPress designer for you. If you're wondering what to ask a WordPress designer before you start your web project, this is the blog post for you. Here is our list of what to ask a web designer before you start working with a web design agency. As a WordPress designer, what is your process? All good web designers follow a well-defined process for building websites. You want to ask the web design agency you're considering working with what their process is, what type of source material and assets they need from you, whether or not they create wireframes or mock-ups so you can visualize your site before it's built, whether they use stock images or custom images, and if they will providing copywriting services, too. How will you build my WordPress site? WordPress websites can be used by incorporating a WordPress theme as is, customizing a WordPress theme, or converting a PSD file into a more custom theme. If having a unique website is important to you, you want to make sure your WordPress developer will be using one of the latter two options, as WordPress themes are widely available and many websites use themes as is. How much will your WordPress designer services cost? Never start a web project with a web design agency before knowing how much it will cost. You've got to know what you're signing up for. Keep in mind, though, that your price might change over the course of your web project. For example, if you ask for additional website features or otherwise change the scope of the website project, your price will go up. Will you make my WordPress website mobile friendly? According to Google, 50% of web searches occur on a mobile device. This means you simply can't work with a web designer who isn't going to make your site mobile friendly. With half of all internet traffic occurring on mobile devices, you need a website with responsive design. How much experience do you have as a WordPress developer? When choosing a WordPress designer for your web project, you want to make sure the web design agency is experienced with the platform. Always make sure to ask how much experience the agency has as a WordPress developer. How will you design my site to incorporate search engine optimization (SEO) and conversion rate optimization (CRO)? SEO is absolutely key to having your website discovered by search engine users such as Google users. You simply can't count on paid advertising alone to drive all your traffic. In the same vein, you need to make sure your website is clearly written and laid out with one goal in mind, to convert each website visitor to a lead or customer. You need to make sure your website developer is going to incorporate both of these vital aspects of modern websites into your web design. What information do you need to provide your web design agency? Before starting a web project, you want to clearly define your role as a client. You want to know if your WordPress designer expects you to provide assets such as images for your sites, attend weekly design meetings, or provide collateral or slide decks to use for creating copy for your website. Will you be my web designer for maintaining my site after you develop it? Getting your website designed is your first step. Maintaining it will be an ongoing process, though. When engaging with a web design agency, you want to know whether or not they will contract with you to maintain your site, too. What type of support do you provide? No matter how great of a job your WordPress developer does on creating your website, you can expect some bumps in the road. WordPress themes and plugins get bugs. Security risks happen. What you want to know ahead of time is what type of support your web design agency will provide you with, and at what availability. For example, an e-commerce website that can't afford to be down for a 3-day weekend likely wants after-hours support available. Where can I find your portfolio and references? Always ask to see a web designer's portfolio, and for references, before you engage with an agency. You want to see the quality of work a WordPress developer has provided past clients before you begin working with them on your web project. Let us help you with your web project as a web design agency with several experienced WordPress developers on staff. We're ready to help bring your website to life. Click here to check out our portfolio and call us with your questions or for a quote at 972-464-2797.